There's a misconception being perpetuated by the media that the Seattle Seahawks are virtually unbeatable, that they have no weaknesses, that there is nothing that can stop them, that they will return to the Super Bowl for a third successive time. That is preposterous.
I keep reading about is that it's nowhere close to a deal. That he says that as soon as he steps on the field, he doesn't want to talk about contract until next season. That could really go up or down for us. I mean, he could either play out a great year for a good contract year, or for all we know, that could be the best of Wilson that we've seen already.
You need a few certain things to beat Seattle. Now, these are some of the same things you need to win, period. But against Seattle, you need these certain things to be prevalent and prominent. For example, ball control. Okay? You need speed at the wide receiver spot. Okay? A hard-nosed running back, an O-line that's tough. All right? You got to beat them to the punch, catch them off guard.
Are you listening? Damn.
Are you enjoying your summer? I hope so. We are just a few days away from the camp opening, and now we're going to find out who's going to make the cut. Oh, that's exciting. And the fact of the matter is, we're just a little bit away from opening night. We get a little bit of relief as we get to see the games in preseason, and that's hot. Did you see, though, the article in Sports Illustrated just the other day, from 1 to 100, the NFL's best players of all time within the Super Bowl era listed by their jersey number? And did we shine up and down that list? Starting with number 8, Steve Young. Number 16, the GOAT, Joe Montana. The other GOAT, Jerry Rice. And they give this write-up on each and every player that just gives you goosebumps because you knew, but the way they write it up, it just makes it sound like they were just defined as being just awesome. Loved it. Check that article out when you get a chance. I went back a little while later, though. I wanted to check and see if there is anybody from the Emerald City being represented. No, not. You see, Hawks fans, this is why when you always ask us the same question, why do you guys always bring up those Dusty's old trophies? Because we can. You see, we are entrenched in a glorious tradition that you can't relate. I mean, because you can't reflect on it. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. We are striving now to grab the elite of the elite, which are the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are sitting on top of the heap. What we want to do is catch them, get them in a Super Bowl, and win it. That's the way it works. You guys don't enter into the conversation right now. Sorry about that. And your throwback jerseys that you don't have, this is another joke. You don't have any throwback jerseys because going back to 2011 does not constitute as throwback time. In fact, most of you weren't even Seahawks fans before that year. This is why we consider you a joke. So please, don't get mad, just get better. And also, you Oakland Raider fans that jumped on that bandwagon, I guess you're going to have to get off soon because the Seahawks are going down, and more about that in a minute. But I want to ask you one more question, though. Remember Torrey Smith just a couple of weeks ago? Torrey was quoted as saying, "The media knows nothing about us." Didn't realize how telling that statement was, but when you think about it, they really don't. The media dwells on the players that retired. They dwell on players that have went to free agency. They know nothing about the players that are coming up to sign up with the 49ers that have been in rookie status. They say nothing more about acquisitions the 49ers just made. It's all about what they know. This is why Smith's statement hit me so hard. Did you check that out, right? See, this is why I'm looking forward to this season. And also, most of the media people don't know what they're talking about anyway. Beyond Daniel Jeremiah, Greg Cosell, and my boy Chris Sims, there is nobody else.
Ronbo!
Hey!
I'm feeling you on that matter.
You know?
I was just over checking VSPN.
check the pages of all the teams in the West.
Yeah.
All of them running features on the respective teams, spotlighting players.
Yeah.
Click on over to the Niners page, and the first thing you see is Brett Favre.
I know.
Brett Favre!
Yes.
Okay, Brett was good, but how about putting Brett on the Packers page?
Thank you.
Ronbo, they use the 49ers page to run an NFC West Q&As and running matters regarding the Seahawks almost every day.
I know. It's not.
I'm serious.
I know.
They
I
use
know.
the Niners page as a multi-purpose page. We ain't gonna get no love till we show these folks something, bruh.
I know.
We may as well laugh about it for now.
I know.
Time is coming though, Ronbo.
I know.
Don't let it get you, man.
No.
Keep your head up. We be
No.
alright. We
All
gonna
right.
win this shit. You know this.
I know.
Alright, I'll be back in a little bit.
All right, I'll wait for you. Yeah, you see, this is the thing. Niner fans, in fact, I want to talk to you about this right now. Let us explore the myth of the Seahawks being invincible. It's a joke. Let's go to the cab right now. Today, we go to Sonoma County, where Jesse awaits to encourage the Niner fam, as I love to do each and every week. There is no reason to believe that we are not involved in the Super Bowl hunt this year. It's a myth. It's a joke. Jess, hello.
How's it going?
And just my pet peeve. What is this stuff about the Hawks being untouchable, absolutely unbeatable? They even go as far as to say the only team that will be repped out of the NFC West is the Seattle Seahawks. Please, Jess, help me with this.
Well, I mean, they're on their high horse right now, all because of they feel like they got Jimmy Graham, that they're just gonna tear it up again. I mean, but they also gave up Max Unger and part of getting Jimmy Graham. They lost a few pieces on defense as well. I mean, Byron, Maxwell, I mean, that's a pretty big piece. I know they did sign some veteran guys as well to replace him, but they lost like Malcolm Smith. And like I said before, Max Unger. I mean, that's a big hole in the center for them. With them, should have been eliminated from the playoffs last year. I mean, they easily, like I said, they could have lost against the Panthers. They definitely should have lost against the Packers. I mean, like I said, that catch that they made was just beyond ridiculous. I mean, that's rare. I mean, that doesn't happen every time. So I don't see them having that luck again. I mean, I just don't think it. I don't see it, especially with St. Louis and Arizona in this division as well. I mean, they have some pieces too, but I don't expect Seattle to even win the division this year.
And let's face it, Jess, the trauma, and nobody's going to talk about it, and the Hawks certainly aren't going to acknowledge it. The trauma of that embarrassing loss in the Super Bowl, these things linger. They eat away at a certain part of you. It takes a little while to recover. It took us 2 seasons. Last year we suffered from the year before last. We suffered coming out of the Super Bowl year because we lost in a very foolish fashion as well. I don't like to talk about that, but it's true. But it did have an effect on our next season. Alex Boone coming in the next season, talking about, I need more money. Vernon Davis coming in, he has a problem. These things are the same things the Hawks are going through this season. Michael Bennett's talking about, well, I like to stay at home anyway. So, so they call Michael Bennett back in and say, Michael, we're going to give you your money. Please stop clowning around. And then you have your boy, Russell.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say next. Which is
Well,
the
you can
fact
say
that
it right now. Go ahead. What do you feel about that?
I mean, well, the latest thing I keep reading about is that it's nowhere close to a deal. That he says that as soon as he steps on the field, he doesn't want to talk about contract until next season. So, I mean, that could really go up or down for us. I mean, he could either play out a great year for a good contract year, or for all we know, that could be the best of Wilson that we've seen already. I mean, who knows? I mean, like I said, it's up and down. I think everyone needs to calm down on the Seahawks and give us a little bit more credit, because we don't look as bad as people think we are.
Of which you are about to point out right now, bro. Tell me some of the strengths of this team.
Well, big return, Navarro Bowman. I'm hoping for a comeback player of the year, most definitely. I'm definitely excited with our D-line. I know that, we cut Ray McDonald last season and, the retirement of Justin Smith. But I like our D-line. I mean, I used to hate Dockett as a Cardinal. Who didn't? But I'm a fan of him now. I like the draft pick that we got. I'm a big Armstead fan. That's who I wanted. So I'm glad about that. And then we still got guys coming back. Got Ian Williams coming back. Got Glenn Dorsey. He could also be in the mix of the right end position. linebackers, I mean, Aldon Smith, he says has trouble. We should be good to go. I mean, from what I've read from him is he's really busting out there right now. I mean, he's trying to basically come out and play his best season. And he's still young. He has it in him. So I believe him. I know everyone's kind of bummed about the Borland, of course, Willis, but Michael Wilhoit did well. I mean, for a guy who played next to Borland, he still played well with him. Can you imagine what he would play with Navarro Bowman at his side? And then one of my biggest, who I thought was the steal of last year's draft, is Aaron Lynch. Mm-hmm. That's the guy I want to see take over. That's the guy I'm excited about. That's why I would be okay if they decided to, trade Ahmad Brooks or, decide to cut him. But I know he took a pay cut, I believe, to kind of give us more money. But, defensively, I mean, we look fine. The only question is our corners. I mean, if Tremaine Brock can bounce back to his old ways. I know there's the two young guys. You got the Reeser and is it Kenneth Acker, I believe is his name?
That's him.
Yeah, I mean, those are the guys I've been hearing the most about this offseason is those two guys are really competing out there. And I'm not a big fan of Sharice Wright because, what I've seen is he was probably the worst corner in the season last year on the Chargers. I mean, I know I even saw a play from the Niners and Chargers game last season when we burnt him. Kaepernick burnt him on a deep pass and we scored a touchdown. And I'm kind of like, that's what we got? Like, that's not what we want.
We both know, as you mentioned, he is not the best person to put on the field. And right now, if you have Tremaine Brock opposite anybody but Sharice, it's got to be a plus.
Oh, yeah. I agree completely. I mean, we even got Jimmy Ward coming back. I mean, I know he kind of, when he did play last season, he definitely struggled a little bit. I mean, we saw him get beat down the middle a few times. But, I mean, I think even Chris Cook was a better option. I mean, we picked him up last season, and I had that same question because the year before in Minnesota, he was one of the worst corners. But he came in with our defense. I mean, he played better. Then he gets hurt. I mean, and that was our luck last year. Everyone kept getting hurt last season. We had the injury bug. Yeah, that's a big part of our season.
But Jess, it's always about the front seven, and that's Trent's philosophy. If you've got a stout front seven, the secondary could be good. It doesn't have to be excellent, but it needs to be good. This is what's going to cause success versus failure. Because if the front seven is tough, then you can put Chris Cox. Cox is good.
Chris Cook, yeah.
You can put Dante Johnson. But what if Tremaine Brock and Keith Reeser, who everybody's talking about is a natural one-on-one player, you got Brock and you got Reeser playing off of each other. We have, at that point, an elite secondary. That's a possibility. We got to wait until preseason coming up in a few weeks, but that is a strong possibility, bro.
Oh, I completely agree. I mean, as long as Eric Reed can stay, not injure himself with concussions again. I know that guy's on his third or fourth. I mean, he's had a few. But, I mean, yeah, I think it's a great front seven. I mean, the DBs would be a great combo. I mean, Antoine Bethea, great addition last season. I think, those guys could really do some damage on defense. And with our defense coordinator now, why am I blanking on his name?
Eric Mangini.
Eric Mangini, yes, there you go. I mean, I was worried that once we, lost Vic Fangio that we were going to struggle, but I felt a little bit better that we got Mangini back there coaching our guys. And Tom Sula, he's a defensive guy, so he'll still keep, I'm sure, in the mix of the defense. So I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about defense. And offensively, obviously, to me, it comes down to the offensive line and Kaepernick. Because Kaepernick did struggle last year, but a big part of that reason is because of the way our O-line was. I mean, our O-line was so beat up last season. We never had the same group of guys for more than 2 to 3 games. I mean, someone would get hurt every 2 to 3 games. I mean, but what I like about our O-line this year is that we have so many options. We have so much depth. It's like they came prepared for this, with the last 2 drafts. Brandon Thomas, Joe Looney. I know they did pick up Eric Pierce this offseason. There's all that talk about the rookie, Trent Brown, I believe is his name. Mm-hmm. I mean, all possibilities. I mean, there's the whole thing about Alex Boone. And they mixed around. And
Marcus Martin is looking like a bear, man. Have you seen pictures of him lately?
Oh yeah, I follow him on Instagram. I see him on his workouts, and yeah, I'm a big fan of him. I was glad that we drafted him. I know he's a local USC guy, so I like that. And that's another option for Daniel Kilgore. He could play guard too.
That's right. There's gonna be a big competition in camp. We're gonna see that in a few weeks, and that's gonna be fun to watch, man. That is gonna be fun to watch.
Can't wait.
Before you go, Gotta give me the holla. I know you're ready for this.
I'm ready.
3.
Niners!
You didn't even give me a countdown. It was still awesome.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
3, 2, 1. Give me another one.
Niners!
Niner fam, I'm here today with my good buddy Kevin. Kevin, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm blessed, brother, blessed. Another Niner day, baby.
We are here today to examine the myth that the Seattle Seahawks are totally indestructible, that they cannot be beat, that there is no point in our participation in the season of 2015. Kevin,
cold.
please, is it you and I being delusional? Are we just seeing the season through red and gold glasses? Or do we indeed have an opportunity to compete this year?
Man, check this out. Not only do we have an opportunity, the chance to compete, we're going to do this, man. I was just watching the playoff game against the Saints, 12. Talk to you about it. There's a lot of names still on our roster from that game, even though we lost some names too. A lot of big names we still got on that roster. I actually was going to talk about a play when Alden Smith sacked Drew Brees. That's the Alden we need back, and I guarantee you we get him back. You know, so I don't know why they have us pegged to be dead last, but you know what though? I like that. I do. They can pump up the Seahawks all they want. And they can pump up to the moon if I care. You know why? Because that fall to the ground is going to be that much harder. You know, and when we climb back to the top, I'm going to just sit back and smile, baby. You know, I'm telling you.
Specify on some of the weaknesses that are obvious. We saw it in the Super Bowl. We saw it in the playoffs. If Bostic doesn't miss the ball, we're not even having any conversation about a second Super Bowl.
Right.
If indeed the Green Bay Packers execute properly, there's not a series. We see Tom Brady surgically take that defense apart. And you know, every team in the league that has them on their schedule has been looking at those plays over and over. The Seahawks aren't going to change. Kev, they are not going to change between now and next season. They're that arrogant.
Not at all. I mean, even in that Dallas game, when Dallas went up there and beat them, Dallas gave us the blueprint to beat Seattle. But see, what it is you need a few certain things to beat Seattle. Now, these are some of the same things you need to win, period. But against Seattle, you need these certain things to be prevalent and prominent. For example, ball control, okay? You need speed at the wide receiver spot, okay? A hard-nosed running back, an O-line that's tough, all right? You got to beat them to the punch, catch them off guard. Now, of course, it's the guy Richard Sherman, you know, Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, all them back there, but they're missing their other corner. See, understand, and I know Richard Sherman is their main corner, but they're missing the other corner. And so, Richard Sherman, I don't like the guy as far as the way he acts, but I mean, he's a great athlete, but he's a cover 3 corner. You know what I'm saying? He sits there on one side of the field because that's now we think even Torrey Smith to take the top off that defense. They can no longer play that shell defense. See, that's the problem. Last year we had nobody to go deep. Now we got deep threats. Torrey can take it off, you know, on the edge. Vernon can work the middle. Reggie out the backfield. Hunter out the backfield. So now we got different things we can attack them with. They can't just play that shell defense on us anymore. Now they got to play ball. And we're going to play ball. And you know what? And not just did we see the Seattle team in a whole get exposed. The game when they was playing against Green Bay, when they were down, Russell Wilson may have seemed like you flush the Seattle and flush them early and often. They just like any other team, brother. I'm telling you. And not only that, now with the new coach and a new scheme, teams don't know what to expect anymore. Mm-hmm. And you know, and I love Harbaugh, I did, but he was too predictable, too conservative.
And
so teams,
and
it didn't take much. Right, exactly. They knew what we were going to do based upon down and distance and personnel. There was no surprise. But now, with everything being new, we can start all over. It's going to take teams a while to catch up with it. Why?
I tell you something else, too. People give Russell Wilson all this credit for being able to scramble. People don't understand. Russell Wilson is not scrambling because he wants to. Russell Wilson has to get out of the way because that offensive line, which now, Kev, is weaker than it was last year. They got rid of Unger. Right. They overpaid for Jimmy Graham, who's only in his second year of a $40 million contract. And now Russ, if he doesn't move now, he's in deep trouble. And you think about the line that we have now to rush.
And see, last year they used to say, oh, danger, Russ. Well, I got something new for you. You're going to be in danger, Russ. You know, so I'm telling you, man, this Niners line is nothing to play with. You got the resurgence of Alden Smith. I do believe Tate Carradine is going to have a big year. Dyer was ready to do some work. Doc is still a threat. You know, so they think, oh, they lost Justin Smith. Okay, yeah. Mission Cowboys, next man up, let's go. And then think about this. You got Alden and Lynch on the outside. Then you got Bowman and Woodlight in the middle.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that's in silence yet, but we're going to be just fine. And the secondary, you got Reed and Bethea back there, the vets. You know, and I really do believe, like we talked about, I think Reeser is going to make a splash. I do. You know, so Reeser and Brock. I mean, but Wright, he's too aggressive. He draws too many flags. You know, so I don't know what's going to happen with him. But trust me, we're going to be competitive.
I'm worried about him, too.
They're quiet, though.
Tell you something else, too. People are always talking about trench picks. Strategically, the fastest step off a snap in camp belongs to Eli Harold. Now, you know what that means, don't you? Eli Harold is going to be in on a few passing downs in Russell's face before he takes 3 steps.
Man, can you imagine Eli Harold, Alden Smith, and Lynch on the field at the same time? Man, stop it.
I look so forward to it. And here's the thing. They got rid of, James Carpenter went to the Jets.
Oh, yeah, yes, he did. He's gone too.
I don't know who they replaced him with, but we know that Carpenter was one of the worst in the world. I mean, Alden Smith owns him, has papers on him. I can't wait to see what they have planned for that offensive line. And
you know what, man? It's like the league itself, there's a stigma. You know, the Seahawks, now they own the NFC West. I get that and everything. But the league is also about storyline. And what better of a storyline? The Niners were dogged, ridiculed, spit on, only to host a home Super Bowl and beat the Seahawks in an NFC Championship game. What? Come on, baby.
That is a storyline.
I'm telling you.
Oh.
I know it's going to be an uphill battle, but hey, let's go. We built for it tough, baby.
And the thing is, we're going to see some of these stars because the camp rage is going to be crazy because we got 2 positions, cornerback and wide receiver, that are still up for grabs. And I just wish I could watch that all day long. How are they going to do this? You
know, I'm glad you said that. I saw one of your videos the other day. You had somebody on there, the young guy. I forget his name. But he was talking about Bruce Ellington and Quentin Patton. I didn't really agree, but hey, I'm going to agree to disagree. Mark my words, America, NFL, eyes, lookers, Quentin Patton will solidify himself as a threat this season.
All right.
The moment he made that catch against Arizona down the right sideline to put the field goal position to put a winning field goal, I said, oh yeah, he's going to be big for us. You know, dude ready too. And he hungry.
And that's the thing, because he's been waiting.
Right.
Well,
not taking up for Bruce Ellington, you know, but I just like Patton better.
He is popular. People like Quentin. They really like him.
Hey. And I'm all, you know, I like you too. I mean, he's fiery. You know, Ron, he's fiery.
That's
right. He has that it too. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, let's go. And I'm telling you, man, this offense is going to be a whole lot more potent than people think too. You know what? It's going to surprise us. We're going to be like, whoa.
I'm going to count you down. You give me the holler. 3, 2, 1.
Niners! Woo! Let's go, baby.
Thanks, Jess. And Kevin, I tell you what, man, I've met more guys this offseason. We'll continue to do it. forever. I mean, Niner fam, I'm still looking forward to meeting everybody that I can meet. That was just, I enjoyed that so much. But let us rest assured, we are not out of it. The joke about why even bother to play the games, get out of here with that. So therefore, I still say, we will compete. And when you get a chance, come on over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter and let us talk some more. You can always search Ronbo Sports. You'll find me there, hanging out, and then we will talk. Meanwhile, let me remind you too, please subscribe so when I get back and I'm looking for you, you'll know I'm knocking and we can talk. Count me out.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never leave the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.